This is a Nekko Media podcast.
What's your pleasure, sir?
Welcome, Cinephiles and Cinebites, to a new Cinebite, number 50. The Big 5-0. I'm your host, Annika P. Cinderella Hellborn, bringer of chains, and I'll leave it at that. The boys Mox and Ono watched the newest Steven Spielberg flick, Ready Player One. A very whimsical fantasy flick for all ages. Hear what they have to say. /tag configuration.
All right, welcome to this /tag configuration. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Steven Spielberg flick,
Hell yeah.
Ready Player One. Directed by Steven Spielberg, written by Zach Penn and Ernest Cline, based on the novel by Ernest Cline. And the film stars Tye Sheridan as Parzival / Wade. We got Olivia Cooke as Artemis, also known as Samantha in the film. Ben Mendelsohn as Sorrento, and Lena Waithe as, well, H. But it's not spelled like the letter H, but A-E-C-H.
A-E-C-H. Oh.
Yeah.
H.
Or H. H. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Hey, going back to Percival, is that the spelling of the actual knight that discovered the Holy Grail? Because I always thought it was Percival, not Parzival.
It could be written as Parzival, as in, just to make it more stylistic. Like Artemis is spelled with a 3 instead of an E.
Oh, like you would a gamer tag.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the film is set in the future, I think 2046. That was the
something
date.
like that.
And so
all I know is I'd be mad old.
So
still mad old, man.
in the future, there's this reality world called the Oasis that everyone logs into. It's kind of like a virtual world, pretty much. And so the inventor of the Oasis passed on and left an Easter egg in there, which, if found, would grant the winner the entire game, like, ownership, and I think like virtual coins, and I think money's involved too. But pretty much you own that thing. And so it's 5 years into the this hunt, and no one's found anything yet. Until
there are 3 challenges, and no one has even unlocked the first challenge,
right?
Which is a street race.
Oh yeah. It's and the amount of pop culture references in this movie, I don't even know if it's like pop culture, just like icons, really. And Easter eggs. So you're kind of finding little gems in that too.
It is overwhelming and overly saturated. It's like a fanboy orgasm.
Kind of.
I mean, it's just wow.
Yeah.
And at 2 hours and 20 minutes, it gets a little bit like, oh my God, so much kick-ass shit that I was ready for it to end. Not that it wasn't awesome, just like, whew, I need a break from this.
So we'll point out some Easter eggs that we saw, and or things that we noticed. The composer for the score is Alan Silvestri.
Sylvester, yeah. Forrest Gump.
Back to the Future, and there are parts where you hear like that little chime from Back to the Future. Like, but
well, you get the Shining score too, right?
Oh, okay. But I read that the entire score is actually original. So probably what you think you're hearing from another movie is probably just in your head. It might be just a similar theme played.
Probably, yeah.
But they said it's entirely original. But it could also be an Easter egg. You're trying to look for those two as well. But the film, it's like, I don't know if you'd call it like a video game movie, a movie for gamers, or just a movie for buffs, film buffs, or not necessarily cinephiles, but just like, pop culture kind of stuff. Because half the movie is in this oasis in the virtual world, and the title characters are in their, air quotes, avatars, or as their avatars.
Right. So you're watching, this 3D animation, basically.
Yeah.
The motion capture.
Yeah. And that makes it
hate
fun.
That.
Yeah, if you don't like, if you didn't like Avatar, you won't like this one. Half the movie.
I wouldn't go that far. Like, yeah, if you did not like the look of Avatar or any of those Final Fantasy animated movies, you'll hate this because they spend half the movie in that world.
Yeah. I thought it felt like I think I told you this, a Disney version of Hackers meets The Goonies.
Kind of. I mean, the plot is really dumbed down for the lowest common denominator, and they repeat the on-the-nose theme more than once. They really try and drive it home. Yeah, and it's really a very family-friendly movie, so you can definitely bring the kids to this one. Although and there's a bunch of kick-ass action, but family-friendly. But they probably won't know half the references in this movie. Like or the little just maybe you can call it tributes, but it's probably in there, like like you see the pulse rifle from Aliens, just a little shot of it. I mean, that's what Artemis is using. This is a perfect film for mid 40-year-olds, mid 30s, because they grew up with all of the references from the beginning. Like we just missed Atari, but Atari is the climactic event of this movie. Yeah, for some reason, and the characters in this movie know their retro games very well. Their history, which is pop culture. That's it. And Atari is one of the main ones for. I found that kind of odd because that's old now. So imagine 2046, and the fact that they got their hands on it and. Not that they just played it, but they understood the I guess the history and the themes behind each level of the game. I think it's Adventure. That's what it was called. But I never played any Atari games. I've never heard of Adventure. In fact, I didn't know even Atari had thousands of games available for it. I knew they was kicking out Space Invaders and Pong, but I didn't know the breadth and depth of their fucking catalog. Right. But then also too, we got to bear in mind that these characters are the best gamers in the world, basically. So they might actually know all of this fucking retro. They're whatever the gaming file is. That's what they are. Yeah. And I like that. So cinephiles, bibliophiles. Well, what would you think the gaming file name would be? What's the Latin for video game? I don't know. Idiove. I don't. But there's clans in this movie. They were called the High Five. The High Five. It's kind of cheesy, but as fuck. Yeah. And it feels like I don't know how it is in out there in chat rooms and message boards and stuff, but your identity is still very secretive. You never say your real name in the virtual world. And so I don't know how identity theft is in the future. Yeah. But it seems that the whole economy in the future it's down. It's almost on the verge of
Road Warrior status already. Because they do mention that people stop caring about trying to resolve problems and they just leave it. I don't know if it was this movie where they say oh no, I was actually just watching Passengers the other night. And they said they live in a world where you don't fix things, you replace them. And that's why Chris Pratt wanted to move this new world.
Actually, they're pretty close, though, in Ready Player One. You don't fix things, you just survive them.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. So it's that kind of world. And you could see why everyone is always just kind of wants to go into the Oasis, plug in right after school, right after work. During work, I think that's what they're showing. Like,
yeah, the Japanese guy almost killed himself when he fucking died and had to respawn.
Right, yeah, because then once I guess you get killed because you're fighting for coin in that one, right? Virtual coin.
Yeah.
But they take it to the next level, where in the real world it really affects them. But the title card didn't even appear until like, I would say maybe 20,
at least 10 minutes
yeah.
after we got there. And we got there a little bit late. We got there at least 5-10 minutes in. So the title card comes after a full-blown sequence of introduction.
Yeah. Ready Player. And I thought it should be Ready, Player One, ?
Yeah.
Are
Ready
you
Player One?
Yeah. But the performances, although I don't know how much actual screen time that the actors themselves got. It was definitely less than the Oasis scenes. So a lot of voiceover work. But, Tye Sheridan, he did some good work.
For me, the standout was the villain. I don't know his name, but he's always on point. But he was especially good in this one.
It was...
he's in that Netflix original Bloodlines or Blood Ties or some shit as the fuck up drunk brother.
Sorrento, right? Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. To me, he gave the best performance. I mean, the antagonist is great in this movie. Or this story.
Yeah.
Actually, he got, I would say, the most actual screen time, right? Not in the CG, right?
Do you know who his contact was in the Oasis, the bad guy? That was TJ Miller.
Yeah, the guy from Silicon Valley.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out who is this guy. He's pretty funny. Sounds like an actual gamer. Damn. But yeah, this is a movie for, I'd say gamers. It's almost borderline. It's in the fantasy genre, like virtual kind of fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's
sci-fi dystopia.
Yes, for sure. And I don't know if that's Artemis, her bike. I wonder if that's supposed to be Kaneda's bike from Akira.
It is. They mention it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a cool bike to use, and a cool reference too, for a mature audience though. Akira is not for children; it is for a mature audience. Don't get them traumatized.
Well, Ghost in the Shell not supposed to be for fucking kids either, but look what they did with the Scarlet Joe one. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this movie, it doesn't slow down. It's, for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It's pretty banging, yeah.
And Simon Pegg's in it too, so, which is...
Yeah, cool. Simon Pegg gave a great performance too, but he's barely in it.
Yeah. He's kind of like the old wise guy. But I like that reference you made that the creator of the game, Halliday, is a humbled Steve Jobs, but as Wozniak. Like he's both.
Yeah.
Like he has a Wozniak attitude, but he's actually...
He's the Steve Jobs as far as being the visionary, the face of the company, while the actual fucking bread and butter nerd is the megalomaniac in this case. So it's the Apple company switched up, the two heads, the two Steves, kind of vice versa. So that was a nice play on what we're familiar with, the narrative,
Yeah.
The megalomaniacal salesman visionary versus the humbled, kind of introverted genius.
Right. And the theme of this movie is again love, sugar coated, or this gamer kind of approach to it. And I really liked what you said. Because I missed it, where the Oasis games aren't single player. It shouldn't be a single player game, but rather a multiplayer. It kind of parallels with how you should live life. In the real world.
Life is a multiplayer game. Yeah, it's a multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
Life isn't meant to be played alone. So, yeah, definitely love, but I feel like community, fellowship, that's also some of the big themes, because there's no way they can take down the enemy by themselves, even the five of them. They have to call on everybody in the virtual world to attack fake Mordor or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, yeah.
Planet Doom.
Fellowship, right. Yeah. There's lots of there's Terminator references in there too with Iron Giant. I was like, no! I screamed in the theater, don't do it! And he did. It's like, all right.
Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. And Gundams.
Some fucking Gundams.
Yeah.
Fucking Serenity.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for that brief moment.
Blink and you miss it, because they don't highlight it. In fact, it's basically a convoy to just drop something off and then get out. They don't even show you any signifiers. But if you're familiar with that Firefly ship, then you'll know it.
Yeah, blink and you'll miss it for sure. But yeah, overall, a great family fun, action-packed flick for all ages. And for all...
I feel there's also some kind of weird dissonance, because the movie or the story is obviously told by guys our age, which is the age of the villain, and yet the protagonists are all young, like in their 20s. So like the actual viewing audience right now are the age of the antagonists, yet we're supposed to watch it through the eyes of these kids.
So we have your forever youth. you never grow up, or we're in Neverland. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, I guess the dissonant element of that is maybe at this point in our lives we've become like the antagonists. Some of us chasing just what they told us to, right? Money, power, influence. And it reminds us of what should be important, like when we were young,
So don't go
and
corporate.
What should be important.
Don't put on that
clanning
suit and tie.
up or community. Yeah, And I guess that's maybe the theme. But I thought that was interesting,
Yeah.
That we are the age of the villain, and maybe we need to revisit where we were through the eyes of the protagonist.
Okay. Yeah. You're down with that. Yeah. Some parts of the movie, it kind of gets misleading towards the end when they finally resolve. You get to the conclusion, like the actual themes of the story, and like character. They reference the tragedy, the greatest tragedy of the game maker.
Mm-hmm. He died alone.
Right, yeah. And you think it's like, oh, he was never kissed. It's like, I'm sure he was, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, he could have been easily. He's like, right, the richest genius that ever was.
It can, I mean, that relationship, it has dark elements to it. But if you think about it,
they didn't really pull it into focus, right? The darker conclusions of where this world is at.
Yeah, but that's why the Oasis and this adventure, this ET like adventure, a band of kids trying to save the world. But I definitely liked it. So final review.
Oh, definite. Go watch, CC.
Yep. Ready Player One. You heard it here.
Down.
Go watch
Yep.
CC. This is a Nekko Media podcast.